Okay, let's just go ahead and see what we get up first today. Okay then, a Mickey's Ultimate Challenge. Time to play a game for really little kids. Again! Okay, so yeah, Mickey's Ultimate Challenge. This was one of the ones, very much geared towards the much younger crowd. I am more familiar with the Super NES version. Huh. It's actually not a bad rendition of the theme song there, or not theme song, but the music, title music. So yes, this is a game that ends up as, but it was just a dream. But it's one that actually tells us, right from the start, hey, this whole game, it's all a dream. And again, I am quite content with this version of this theme. Like, the version on Genesis was really ear-piercing, but this is totally fine. Alright, so yeah, we have two buttons here on the Game Gear, which work out perfectly because the game has literally two buttons. When you are controlling Mickey, you have little jump and you have big jump. So we have up here in the tower is Donald. He has Sokoban-style puzzles, which I am not a big fan of. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, and here is, I think his name is Horace the cow? Like, I know Clarabelle is the name of the female cow, but I don't remember the name of the male cow. Ah, jeez, no, dang it. I wanted to say no, but, yeah, and here we have Huey, Dewey, and Louie, who need help with the drawbridge. And I guess it's good to get this out of the way early, because this is, without a doubt, the actual most annoying and slowest of all of the puzzles. You cannot bounce from one to another. You have to bounce on each one individually. I'll say it's an interesting choice for the sound effects, and one which I think works in this game's favor. In the Super NES and Genesis versions, these sound like farts when you bounce on them. Also, if we were playing on the normal mode, we'd already be done by now. If we were playing on cake mode, we'd have to hit, I think, either 2 or maybe 3 in a row. So that's why I didn't go with cake mode, because, you know, there are enough things to talk about that I don't want to be done with this game in 5 minutes flat. Although now that I'm thinking on it, I probably will regret that decision when we get to the final puzzle. 'Cause it's the frickin' sliding tile puzzle with the... yeah. You'll see in like 15 minutes or so, maybe. Give or take. Okay, are we done? No, we're not done yet. Now, they do seem to have done away with the song for this area, which is actually a shame, because this was actually one of the better songs in the game. Seriously. And one of the other things that the bigger console versions have in their favor is the fact that they have an indicator showing you how close to done you are. So what does this one even sound like? Okay. Sad to find out, because, you know, not a single one of these has used it yet. Are we done? Please tell me we're done. Thank goodness. Okay, so each of these 5 different puzzle areas is going to give us a single item. I'm gonna go ahead and do all of the puzzles and then give all of the items to all of the people. Actually, you know what? No, let's do these in order for the hell of it. Save a tiny amount of time. So yeah, this is Memory. She cannot dust the paintings because she can't find her dusting shoes. And yeah, I do actually agree, Simon Says isn't really actually a puzzle, I suppose. And Memory also is not exactly much of a puzzle. Sokoban almost sort of counts as a puzzle. And then, I guess, what we will see in Goofy's place is actually legitimately a puzzle. What we will see in, another one of the weasel cards. What we will see in that male cow, whatever his name was, this guy right here. Whatever we will, derp, see in his area. Sort of, but doesn't really count as a puzzle. It's much more in the vein of platforming and such. Wrong female character. I have a really bad memory. There we go, and Mickey was way up on the top. And we do actually have a time limit, but I'm rather interested to see how this Game Gear version is going to handle it. Apparently not. Okay, there's that. Basically, in the larger console versions... dang it. Okay. It is, as time passes, the area gets darker, because the candles are running out. So I'm kind of not yet noticing it getting any darker. I would have expected that by now we'd at least be on the first shade of slightly darker. But, we still seem to be perfectly fine. So now that I'm actually looking at it, that is an amazingly terrible portrait of Pete. Okay, who's here again? Okay, Daisy. Must remember Daisy there. Oh hey, Daisy. Okay, yeah, so I was right in my initial memory that his, the male cow, if whatever, is Horus. Really could have sworn I'd already seen another Mickey somewhere, but whatever. Still don't seem to be any closer to, running out of time here, so I guess it, doesn't much matter. And, yeah, there we go. Memory puzzle is completed. Huzzah! And then we go back in and say, oh yeah, and what do you know, here's your shoe. And for our troubles... oh, I skipped the dialogue. That's okay though. We get a magic bean. Okay, so yes, we now have the gold bar, so let's head over here. And have a chat with Goofy. So yeah, it's Mastermind! Okay, 2 right. 3 in the, 3 right, but, in the wrong spots. Okay, yeah, that tells us everything. So yeah, if we were doing cake mode, that would be it. We'd be done already. And this is the one for normal mode, and the next one will be for, well, our current hard mode. Oh, wow. 3 right already, okay. Huzzah, randomness. Still 3 right. So we know. Bam, done. This is Mickey's Ultimate Challenge. Obviously these things like Simon and Memory and Mastermind are clearly his ultimate challenge. Wow. So, there goes the gold bar. Where do we get another magic bean? So I'm sure you can guess where this is headed. Oh yeah, and if you don't want to lower the drawbridge, you don't even actually have to. You can just, hop in the moat and go for a swim. What did I just get? The hammer. Who wants the hammer? I think the boys want the hammer, don't they? Okay, back to drawbridge. It's kinda open, we could go in one unbroken loop. But I guess that will not happen. So I will save the Sokobaning for last. Yeah, Mickey's medieval challenge would have been really good for this. So, here's the thing. This is actually probably the, legitimate hardest challenge, because, that can happen. We fall off the books, and, you know, don't land on another book, then, yeah, that is the challenge over with. We had to start all over. Oh, okay, apparently we don't have to guess letters in order, so that's pretty nifty. Now, in the cake mode, you are literally just spelling out letters in order, like 8 letters in order. What? I will say, though, that this one is actually a lot easier than either the Super Nintendo or the Genesis version, insofar as there are an amazingly larger number of books flying around than there are in either of those versions. Okay, then. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's why I should have been save stating. My bad. Now we get a different 8-letter word. Probably, anyway, if it works the same as the others. Yeah, it probably was spelling neighbor, come to think of it. Oh, well then. I do believe we're spelling parallel. Get our R in place. Yep, fortunately I did do... Well, not that it really makes much difference, but still. Okay, so apparently going down is quite a bit more difficult than going up with these books. There we go, hooray. Aw. In the Super NES and Genesis versions, we get a little animation of him flying on the last book back over to Horace over here. And we get a spell book, which goes to the only character we haven't yet visited because frickin' Sokoban. Why did they have to make this puzzle Sokoban? So I'm rather curious what they're going to have done with this song, or if they will just have eliminated it like the Huey, Dewey, and Louie trio song. Hey! No, this isn't bad at all. Actually, I take it back. This is much more monotonous and repetitive than the, regular versions. So yeah, basically you have the option to either solve the puzzles and progress in the game, or abandon it and, you know, just not bother with the rest of the game. Which would be nice, but we will see this through to the end.